And number one, we're excited to get back out here tomorrow and play against Creighton. This will be round 2 against Creighton. Obviously, they got us at their place here, a week and a half ago, a week ago, whatever it was. But we had a good practice yesterday, trying to keep our guys positive, keep our guys improving every single day. Been working heavily on our decision making and taking care of the ball and our defensive end and blocking out as well. Like I said, we're excited to get back out there and play against Creighton tomorrow.
Having played them just 10 days ago, is that helpful? I mean, you just have a very recent scout. Probably not much on their end has changed since you saw them last.
They've changed a little just because of injuries. They have a kid that's back, Damian Jefferson, Marcus Zagorowski. He's, I think, game time decision. Whether he's going to play or not. He played in our game. He's a very good player, freshman point guard. But they're similar. I mean, they are who they are. Creighton's a very talented offensive team. Going to rely heavily on the 3. They got Krempel inside. Just that familiarity. Our guys know who they have on their team, and you kind of look at what worked in game 1, what didn't work in game 1, what adjustments we need to make on both ends of the offensive and defensive end. So. But the familiarity obviously helps with a turnaround like it is.
You guys got to see kind of a different Creighton team than I think the rest of their schedule has seen. I would imagine that if someone told you that they're only going to make 7 threes and Tyshawn Alexander's only going to have 7 points, you would probably think that's a pretty good formula for Xavier. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you kind of take that and maybe take away Martine inside and kind of build off that success that you had in that specific area?
Yeah, they're going to get up a lot of threes. That's what they do. They're top 10 in the country in shooting threes. Both field goal percentage, field goal attempts, field goal made, threes. I mean, they rely heavily on threes. I thought our switching in the first half took the threes away from them a lot. I thought we did a good job in that instance, but we did a poor job around the rim with Krempel. We got to do a good job getting more help in there on him and not letting him, catch the ball so easy around the rim against our guards. I thought he did that in game 1. We didn't front nearly hard enough, and we got to make that adjustment, obviously, in game 2.
This is to go through what you guys have gone through recently is something new for a lot of these guys. Anything specific that you've done to try to keep their level of confidence up, maintain that positivity every day in practice? Is there anything specific that you've tried to do?
I don't know about anything necessarily specific. We obviously have a lot of areas to improve on, but a lot of it is mental. It's like I could tell, even in that last huddle, I called a couple timeouts during the stretch where we had those turnovers. You could just tell our huddle was different, and a lot of it is that belief. Believing that you're going to win, having the confidence that you're going to win. So we've been trying to practice a lot of end-of-game situations. We did that yesterday, just seeing Xavier won on the scoreboard, right? And being able to execute down the stretch, not panic. That belief, like I said, is so important, and that confidence is so important. Trying to get that with our guys, be able to execute our way out of trouble and not just play our way out of trouble. And that's something that we got to continue to learn to do, and hopefully our guys gain a little bit of confidence through practice yesterday and today, what we're about to do.
What is the biggest ailment, do you think, in the final 5-7 minutes that's kind of seemed to be the recurring theme in the losing streak, that in the final 5 to 7 minutes you become a different team? Yeah,
I think it's been different a little bit in different games. I think like Georgetown, that was our defense. I mean, there's a whole second half. I mean, we didn't get any stops. I think we had 5 stops the entire second half. I don't think it was our offense. We were scoring with them. Turnovers weren't necessarily our issue. I know Paul had one late in that game. But I think sometimes our guys do it at a good intent. Joe, they want to win, and I think they try to say, hey, I'm going to put the team on my back, and I'm going to go get us one. And, our personnel is so much different than it has been, and it doesn't take away not that our players are worse or better than they were in the past as far as like Trayvon Blewett and JP, but Trayvon's answer would be probably to shoot a jump shot. Najee Marshall's answer is probably to drive the ball. Paul Scruggs is probably to drive the ball. And, they still got to make the same plays that they would make in possession 2 or possession 3 of the game as they do at the very end of the game. Sometimes when you drive the ball, you can drive yourself into trouble, right? Like if all of a sudden a guy helps, or there's 2 guys on you or 3 guys on you, that leads to turnovers, bad decisions, bad shots, things like that. And like I said, it's good intent. It's not out of selfishness. I really believe that. But at the same time, you got to make the right plays. And if that's to kick it, then that's to kick the ball out. If that's to guy doesn't help in on penetration and you beat your man cleanly, then you should use your body and be able to get a finish. If you don't beat your man cleanly and they don't help, well, then you should probably land and start pivoting and shot faking and see if something opens up that way. And just trying to get our guys to slow down and like I said, number one is not to panic. Number two, just make the same, hit singles, don't hit home runs, make simple plays. And our guys, they've never been in that position. Najee, Paul, and we've tried to honestly ride those guys at the end of games the most. And it's hard to post it at the end of games. But those guys got to continue to grow. I believe in them. We're going to work every single day to continue to work on those end-of-game situations so where they can make the right plays. They want to win just as bad as all of our fans do and all of us do as well, and they're working hard to help change those results.
Here is the most simplistic question I can ask. How much does this team just need to win at this point?
We need one. There's no question. I think it does a lot for your psyche. Again, just the belief, the confidence. That's what wavers more than anything, and I think that's the thing as a coach. Rather than necessarily like a play, putting in a play here and there, it's about getting those guys trying to get their mental right, and it can be hard. It can be hard, but I think our guys bring it in practice, and we've had great practices. It's about getting it to carry over when that adversity hits, into game situation. I want to see that carry over into the game, and a win would be big. There's no question about it, and we want to put obviously our best foot forward, tomorrow night against Creighton.
We heard that Malcolm Bernard is here today, and he was obviously a part of that team 2 years ago that lost 6 in a row and ended up making a run to the Elite Eight. Did you get a chance to talk to him, and do you think he might be open to talking to these guys kind of about what's happening to him right now?
Yeah, it's interesting. He came up to my office today, and we spoke for a long time, and he was he asked if he could speak with those guys. Really? Yeah, and he wanted to talk to him about what exactly what you just said. He's been through it. And obviously, Tyreek and Q were part of that as well. But it's sometimes good to hear from a different voice, and so it'll be good. He'll be at the game tomorrow night. He's going to be at practice today. He's going to have an opportunity to talk to our guys. We want all of our former players to always feel like it's an open forum for them because it's their program, right? They help build this place into what it is, and we really appreciate Malcolm obviously coming back. He's injured right now, that's why he's not playing overseas towards Achilles. But it's good to have him back on campus. I think a couple of other guys may come. I don't know if they'll be here for the game tomorrow, but a couple other guys are going to come this week as well to watch practice. Trayvon and Kaiser and those guys.
How has this year's record affected recruiting? And I ask that in the sense that you've recruited for this program for 10 years, and when they were Big East champions, and there's highs and lows. Do you do anything different? Do you have to say anything different at this point?
No. It hasn't affected it at all. Recruiting's all about relationships. That's what it is. It's about trust. And, it's just like we are basically an extension of their family. You think about when you send when you're a parent and you send your child away to college, you want to make sure they're going to be taken care of. They're going to be, looked after. So it starts with that. That's to me, that's all recruiting is relationships. It's the trust factor. It's the vision. It hasn't affected it at all.
I think coming into this season, most people agree this would be, for the lack of a better word, a transition year for this program. What challenges maybe did you not necessarily anticipate, or are there things that maybe made this more difficult than maybe you had anticipated at the start?
Yeah, obviously, when you have a coaching change and you lose a senior class like we lost, we knew it was going to be an adjustment. There's no question about it. But I don't think anything's maybe has surprised me. I kind of knew, I knew it could be, there'd be some rough moments, rough patches. It's going to happen. There's no hiding in the Big East. There's just not. You can't fake it at this level. You can't. And but it's about, for me, And our guys, I thought, have had the right attitudes in practice, of just continuing to try to get better, work every single day. And again, I know Xavier fans and can't see that every day, but they would appreciate the effort that our guys are putting in every single day and all the work. But again, like, you know, I think for us, I want to grow just as individuals. I want to see guys get better. I want to see our staff get better as well. We got a whole new staff, as you know, guys. We had 3 new assistant coaches. Obviously, I'm in a new position as well. Just want to see growth and continue to learn each other and trust each other, love each other, and continue to grow together.
Hey, Travis, over the last 3, it seems that they're scoring less and they're using Martine Crumple more.
Mm-hmm.
How can you take him out of the game?
Yeah, you know, that's a good question. You know, I think, number one, you know, they've had some injuries. You know, Tyshawn Alexander was out the one game. You know, Marcus Zagorowski's been out the last 2 games. And they played a lot slower at Villanova. They burned the clock. I mean, they would just bleed the clock every single time they had the ball. So they played. It's very different, unique for Creighton, because Creighton usually plays very fast. And I think, and I anticipate Marcus Zagorowski playing. And they have Damian Jefferson back now. But, you know, Crumple, he's a great player, man. You know, you respect what he's been through. You think about a kid that's torn his knee up 3 times, 3 separate times. And to be as good of a player as he is, to be as resilient as he is, man, it tells you a lot about him as a person. But he can score the ball inside. He can score the ball outside. He can drive it. You know, they play through him. You know, even in the games where he wasn't scoring as much, a lot of times he's the guy that's creating the action, whether it's a screen, whether it's an assist. He's a terrific player. You know, like I think it starts, number one, you can't allow him to get easy post position, right? You know, we got to make his catches tough down there. But they move him around so much because of his skill level. You know, he'll be on the perimeter. He's shooting more threes the last couple games than he has, you know, really all season. Even though he's got a decent percentage, he hadn't taken a lot until the last few games. He's taken a lot more. You got to be there on the catch. You got to stay down on a shot fakes. You got to be able to move your feet. It's going to be a team effort. I mean, Ty and Zach will have their hands full, and he's a guy. You know, he plays to win, man. And he's fun to watch when you watch him on film. Like, he's always flexing, always got a big personality. He has great energy. He's a great player. We're going to have our hands full. It's going to be a team effort on him, you know, on the glass, when he catches it every single time as well.
So is Let It Fly on hold, or is it in mothballs, or when is it going to reappear?
I think they'll let it fly. I really do. And McDermott does a great job, man. He gives those guys great freedom. He's got very, very skilled guys that can really make shots. You know, we're anticipating and we're preparing for them to play really fast, to get up and down, space us, try to drive and kick, shoot the ball. That's what they do really, really well.
What did he do in Omaha to force 19 turnovers? There was something different in his defense.
Yeah. You know, they are being really aggressive in ball screens right now, and they did the same thing to Villanova and to Seton Hall in the 2 games in between our previous game and this upcoming game. They are being very, very aggressive. They're trapping all ball screens, and I tell you, a lot of it starts to Crumple. You know, he's got great feet, and he reaches, and he's got great hands, and he's very disruptive. And we've been preparing for that very heavily because we know what's coming. You know, they really weren't doing that before Game 1 when they played us. And you know, and again, part of it's our mindset too, though. And we got to be a lot better. You know, being tougher with the ball, be stronger with the ball. You know, in ball screen situations. But we've been preparing for that the last couple days.